Alright, good morning to you guys. I'm Mr. Ismail, and I want to say a big welcome to this new academic section, which is the second term, and also Happy New Year to you guys. Alright, so as you know, our classes are starting today. So for mathematics, what we'll be doing is revision of last term examination question, and as you can see, I'm holding the question here. So in this question, what I'll be doing is I'll be solving two questions. One question from this section, which is section B. I'll solve question 2, and in the other section I'll be solving question 12A. Okay, I'll solve question 12A. Alright, so in order to solve this question 2, the question says that find the value of x in the following. And as you can see, that question is from indices, is an equation question. Okay, so in order to solve that, the first thing to do, question 1, is I'm going to say 4x equals to 0.25. So what I will do is to simply convert this 0.25 to fraction. And how do I do that? In order to convert 0.25 to fraction, I'll write 0.25, then I'll put a 1 under this decimal point 0, 0. Okay, which is the same thing as 25 over 100. And when I simplify this, divide both sides by 20. Divide this by 25, I have 1. Divide this by 25, I have 4. So 0.25 is the same thing as 25 over 5 over 100, which is the same thing as 1 over 4. So I write 4x equals to 1 over 4. But if you recall our law of indices, our fourth law of indices, which is the negative power law, it says that if you have a raised to power minus 1 is the same thing as a 1 over a. So if we compare this, so we can rewrite this as 4 raised to power x equals to 4 raised to power minus 1. And of course, the base will cancel each other out, so we cancel out the 4. So we have x equals to minus 1, which is the answer to that question. And for B, we have 3 raised to power 2x minus 3 raised to power x plus 2 equals 0. So 2. We have 3 raised to power 2x, 3 raised to power 2x minus 3 raised to power x plus 2 equals 0. Alright, so in order to solve this question, what I will do is to take this 3 minus 3 raised to power x plus 2, I will take it to the other side of the equation. Okay, so I'll write 3 raised to power 2x equals to 3x plus 2. So similarly, I'll cancel out this 3. So I have 2x equals to x plus 2. I'll collect the light sign. By taking this x to this side, I have 2x minus x, which equals to 2. 2x minus x, you have x equals to 2. So the value of x is 2. Okay? So the next thing, I'll move to section C to solve question 12. Okay, I'm solving question 12 in this section, and the question goes like this. The cost of feeding a number of students of Fortune Academy School in a regional excursion is partly constant and partly varies directly as the number of students. The cost of feeding 75 during the excursion is 875 naira, and the cost of feeding 100 students during the same period of time is 1000 naira. Find the cost of feeding 220 students over the same period of time. Okay, so like you've known, this question is under the topic variation, and for last time I told you there are different types of variation. We have the direct variation, we have the inverse variation, we have the joint variation, and lastly we have the partial variation. Okay, so this question is from partial variation, and in order to solve question on partial variation, first you have to know the equation that is relating the terms of this question. Okay, question 12. So the equation is given as C equals to A plus NK. Okay, where C is the cost, of feeding the students, N is the number of students, while A and K are constants. So in order to solve this question, the first thing to do is to find the value of A and K, the value of the constant A and K in this question. Okay, so what I will do is to go back to the question. The question says that the cost of feeding 75 students during the excursion is 875. So 875 is the cost and 75 is the number of students. Okay, so I'll say cost. I'll put those value into this equation. Cost is 875 equals to A is unknown, so I leave it like that, but the number of students is 75k. I call this equation 1. I still go back to the equation again. To the question again, I have 1000 naira was used to feed 100 students. So 1000 equals to A plus 100k. I call this equation 2. So this leads to a simultaneous equation, and of course there are different methods of solving simultaneous equation. We can use the substitution method or the elimination method, but for this I'll be using the elimination method to solve this. And how do I do that? In order to use the elimination method to solve this, I'll have to eliminate one of these constants, either A or K, from this question. So it's easier to eliminate A right now, so I'll just eliminate the constant A from this question. And in order to do that, I'll have to subtract equation 1 from equation 2, since equation 2 is greater than equation 1. Okay, so when I subtract 875 from 1000, I have 125 equals to A minus A, we have nothing, 0. Then 75k minus 100k, I will have 25k. Okay, so this is what I have right now. So in order to find the value of k, I divide both sides by 25. So 25 here cancel out. 25 here, you have k equals to 5. So the value of k is 5. So the next thing is to find the value of a. So in order to do that, I substitute the value of k into either equation 1 or equation 2. Substitute value of k into equation, let me use equation 1. Okay, so anywhere I see k in equation 1, I put 5. So I have 875 equals to a plus 75k. Okay, so I have 875 equals to a plus 75 times 5. Okay, so I have 75 times 5, and that will give me 875 equals to a plus 375. A equals to 875 minus 375. So the value of a is 500. Since I know the value of a and k, the next thing to do is to solve the actual question in this that we are meant to solve in this question, which is find the cost of feeding 220 students over the same period of time. It is important to find the value of a and k before we will be able to solve this question, which is why we did that. Okay, so in order to do this, I'll say let the cost of feeding 220 students be x. So now I'll write the equation for that, which is x, which is the cost, equals to a, which is our constant, plus a plus 220, which is the number of students, and k. Okay, so x equals to a, the value of a is 500, we calculated that, plus 220 times the value of k, which is 5. So I have x equals to 500 plus 220 times 5, I have 1100. So x equals to 1600. Therefore, hence, the cost of feeding 220 students during the excursion is 1600 naira. Okay, so in our next class, what I'll be doing, I'll be solving the other part of this question, which is the B and the C. Okay, also I'll be giving you a classwork. I would like for you to solve this question 8 as classwork and question 9 and question 11 as assignments. All right, thank you guys. All right.